everyone, Katie Murray. How's everyone doing today? Today's topic is a little bit of a tougher topic to talk about, but I actually think it's a topic that we need to discuss. It's an uncomfortable conversation to have, but I was actually out today and I was faced with a person who had a deformity, and I had seen how other people were dealing with it, and it actually hurt my feelings, it hurt my heart, and I knew if it hurt me and if it upset me, I only can imagine how it affected this person. And I always think to myself, why do people treat others less than? Why is it that others don't stop and think that could be me? Maybe it was how they were raised. Maybe their parents didn't say to them the way my parents did that, that could be you, and treat them the way you want to be treated, and that's why I'm saying that to you. Maybe I shouldn't even be having this podcast today because it's too even raw for me, because I just felt so deeply for this person. And I think the best way that you can show your respect for a person who is either handicapped or has a deformity is to actually acknowledge them. Don't ignore them. Don't go out of your way to, not observe them, because that's just as bad as gawking at somebody. Or when you see someone that literally goes, oh, it's just so rude, and if you think that they don't realize that, you're wrong. But like I said, don't ever take life for granted, and don't ever think that that couldn't be you. Don't ever stop and think that you might not end up in a wheelchair someday. Don't ever stop and think that, you could end up having a limb be removed from your body. Don't ever stop and think that, what you think is beautiful could end up being removed, whether, you find out from a doctor that, you have cancer and they're going to have to hack off half of your face, remove part of your jaw, or you could be walking down the street and have some crazy wackadoodle throw acid all over you. So like I said, you just don't know. Life is unpredictable. So when you're out and about and when you see a person, never treat them less than. Never ever treat a person like they're a monster, and never ever make the mistake of being afraid to acknowledge them. They are just like us. They have the same heart, they have the same eyes, and they observe when a person is treating them like they are a beast. And don't think that they don't go home and feel that. So I wanted to pass that on to you because, like I said, it upset me, and I just thought, wow, and once again, whenever I see people like that, it's like they shine. It's like it bounces off of them and they radiate, and here I am passing it on to you, and I feel so sad, and it just didn't even seem to affect them, so that's good. And I hope that that person didn't see this horrible person that just kept leering and gawking. And it was an adult. If it was a kid, I could have understood that, and it took all I had not to say something to this person. I mean, believe me, I was looking at this person, but ignorant is ignorant, and you can't teach ignorance. But I am going to pass this message on to you, because if we can get this snowball rolling, and here's another thing too, when you have children, a lot of times parents think that they're doing the right thing when you have kids. And when you have a child run up to you, if it's your child, and mommy, oh my gosh, well, what's wrong with that person? Because you get embarrassed and you think like, oh gosh, like I don't want to upset that person because my kid now is going to get overheard, right? So you'll say, stop, don't look. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. They're just kids. They don't know, right? They've never seen something like that, whatever it could be. So don't raise your child to think that whatever they're seeing is wrong or weird, right? Just be honest. Like, hey, let's not be loud, because you shouldn't be when you're in public, but, hey, they might have had an accident, and I don't know, but they're just like you or I, but let's be polite, like you can smile. That's how you handle it. It's not, shh, don't look. We should always pay respect to our fellow human beings and smile and treat them like humans. I'm reminded of myself as a kid. I mean, I was one of those people that, God help everybody around me. You never knew what was going to come out of my mouth. I mean, I'm still like that. Here I am right now. I mean, I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth as I'm talking to you. But, I was visiting my great aunt at her homestead. And, oh, Lord, you never, like I said, you never knew what I was going to do or say. And I mean, I was always in trouble, but not like bad trouble. But I had a cousin, and she had an arm that was missing. And it had happened between when I had, like when I hadn't seen her. So she had an arm, and now she didn't. So she had appeared, she showed up, and so I saw it, and I said, oh my gosh, what happened? So my parents right away, yep, we remember how we always tell you never to have your arm hanging out, when we're driving out the door, and that's what had happened. She got in a car accident, her arm, she used to always dangle it out the door, and her arm was, but I mean, they just without missing a beat. They didn't grab me and drag me off out of the room, and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that, and you're mortified. I mean, it was just treated it like nothing, like this is what happened, and isn't that, like a horrible thing. That's how accidents happen. You should never have your arm hanging out of a window. And they told me what happened, and it was a learning lesson for me. And I'll tell you what, to this day, I will never dangle my arm out of a window, And my cousin, who is right there, I mean, she was an adult, she was, gosh, I was probably like 3. She was like in her 40s, was, smiling and looking at me, and it wasn't like a woe is me kind of thing. And that was it. And carried on next, and I wasn't interested anymore. I didn't care. It wasn't like, oh, can I see it? You know what I mean? But that's how we handled it. Well, like I said, it was a learning lesson. My parents spun it, turned it around, and I'll tell you what, though, I don't have my arm hanging out that window. And when I see people hanging their arms out the window, I'll tell you, don't do it, people. Don't do it. Don't do it. So, but I'm trying to lighten the mood now because it's a heavy conversation. All right, anyway, what are we going to do until next Wednesday? We are going to spread lots of seeds of joy and happiness all around so it takes off like wildflowers. Bye-bye.